Okay, so picking up where we left off, banks often, at least, offer lower interest rates for shorter term loans. So let's suppose the same bank offered a 15-year mortgage as opposed to a 30-year, so cut the time in half, at a rate of 4% compounded monthly. What would the monthly payment be then? So they're bringing the rate down, as a reminder, from 4.25 to 4% for the shorter term. And so the reason is most people, 30 years is pretty standard. So this would be a little bit of a less standard loan, but let's see how that affects it. So it's the exact same formula, which I've already set up, only with the rate, the 0.04s changed and the time changed. So I highlighted what changes. So let's go ahead and calculate that out now. So I'm going to do the 150. I think I need to make my calculator smaller again. It somehow isn't. There it is. There's my zeros. 150,000 times 0.04 over 12. That'll be the top. So the top ends up being exactly 500 in this case, divided by, and I'm going to do the rest of this with embedded parentheses. So divided by parenthesis 1 minus another open parenthesis 1 plus 0.04. Oops. The zeros aren't wanting to pick up on for some reason right now. Divided by 12. Close up that inner parenthesis to the, and now this is the negative, and that's half. So instead of negative 360, it ends up being negative 180 power. And then drop back down and close that outer parenthesis. So we get $1,109.53. So we can compare that to $737.91 for the prior, the 30-year loan, and $1,109 for the 15-year loan. Now on this one, how much would the buyer actually pay for the house total over the 15-year loan? So this time they would make these $1,109.53 payments 12 times a year for 15 years, and that would again repay off the loan. Plus they had that $20,000 down. So let's see, 110,9.53 times, and again, that 12 times 15 is 180, which we already had discussed. So for the loan, it's $199,715.40 plus 20,000. So $219,715.40. So if we look at that, in this one they end up paying about $220,000 when the prior loan was $286,000, let's say. So there is a pretty big difference overall between what you pay. So then the question arises, what are the upsides and downsides to the shorter term loans? So for me, an upside would definitely be that overall you're going to pay less by a pretty substantial amount in this case, by about $65,000 less, which is pretty significant. Because less of your payment is going toward instant interest. Which can feel like throwing money away. Money that you're paying toward interest sort of feels like you're just, spending money on nothing. You can get it paid off faster. That's a big plus for some people. Get that loan paid off in a shorter amount of time, which in turn basically gives you more equity faster. You own more of your house, or you're closer to owning it outright a lot faster. So there are lots of upsides. As far as downsides, though, those monthly payments go up quite a bit. So those monthly payments are higher. So it might be a little bit harder to budget for. That's why 30 years is pretty standard. Most people can budget better. Less of your monthly expenses are going toward your mortgage, and it frees you up for other expenses, whether it's other bills or whether it's, just other things that you want to do with your money, recreation type stuff. So definitely it's kind of a give and take that when you're put in that situation, you have to think of what would make most sense for you. Good things to think about though. Okay, so let's see. Number 2 says Joyce is going to secure a loan to purchase a new car. She secured a loan from her bank at the rate of 3%. So I'm going to go ahead and say the rate is 0.03. Compounded monthly. So we know that our M is 12 here. Under the terms of her finance agreement, she's required to make payments of $210 a month for 36 months. So we know the monthly or that reoccurring payment. In this case, we know that the big R is 210, and she's doing this for 36 months. If I adjust that to years, that's 3 years. The question is, how large of a loan is she taking out? Or another way of saying that is, what's the price of this car? So notice this has flipped it on us. We're not trying to find the big R, so we're not going to use the same formula we just used in the prior question. We have the big R, and we're trying to find the loan amount or the price of this car, so we are trying to find that big P value. So in this case, if I scroll up, we're not going to use the amortization or mortgage type formatting of this. We're going to go back to that present value because again, we have this R and we're trying to find the P. So you just want to be flexible about which one you use depending on what the question is asking. So this one I'm looking for P. I know that R is 210 and I can set my formula up this way. So I'm going to do the 210 giant bracket with a giant fraction in it. And then inside there, I've got on the top 1 minus, open a smaller parenthesis, 1 plus, so let's see, the percentage here is 3%, so 0.03, compounded monthly, so then to the negative, and then it's R times T, so it's M times T, so negative 12 times 3 on the top, and that's everything that's on the top, and then on the bottom we've got the rate of 0.03 divided by the R of 12 again. Close up that giant set, and now I'm going to go ahead and go into my calculator to do this. Okay, again, I like to work these personally from the inside out, so I'm going to do that top giant fraction first, so 1 minus, and then a parenthesis, 1 plus the fraction 0.03 over 12, close up that parenthesis, and take that parenthesis to the negative 12 times 3, or I could have just wrote negative 36 there. Okay, figure out what the top is. Then I'm going to divide that by, in parentheses, I'm going to divide it by 0.03 over 12 and hit enter. Okay, so that's the whole bracket that I figured out now. Now I need to multiply that by 210. Okay, so it looks like the price of this car was, that's a really expensive car. $83,972.74. I would be rethinking that. What's the total amount she pays for the car? Okay, well, she pays $210 every month, so 12 times a year for 3 years. So I feel like maybe I did something wrong here. I don't think that that's right at all. I feel like am I off by a decimal point somewhere? Yeah, that doesn't make any sense really at all because she only pays $7,560. I need to go back and review up here. So let's see. 1 minus, just trying to double check here. Her rate is 0.0312 to the negative 12 times 3. I'm going to retry that. Oh, I think I see. I think I had something. I forgot a parenthesis right up here in my work. I can now see what went wrong up there. So if I do this top part again, 1 minus parenthesis, something happened here, I think. 1 plus 0.03 over 12, close it up to the, and we said that was the same thing as negative 36. Yeah, okay, so, and then divide by the 0.03 over, I needed parentheses here, so I'm getting a little, I'm trying to go too fast. Okay, and then multiply that by 210. I think this will make a lot more sense. Ah, okay, this makes a lot more sense. So, again, strike through that. I was thinking that was an awfully expensive car. This makes more sense. So the car was $7,221.16. She pays back $7,560, so she repays more. How much of the total payment was interest? So we just need to do a subtraction there. So let's see, what is 7,560 minus this more acceptable value here for the car, $5,221.16. So she paid $338.84 in interest. So please take my cautions, watch my mistakes and learn from them, or learn how to catch your own mistakes, because that's partly it's just paying attention. This seemed, when I got it, it seemed a little high. I mean, yes, there are cars that expensive, but not many of us buy them. So I was already feeling a little weird about it. And then when I moved on to my second part, it really didn't make any sense at all anymore. And that really solidified my gut feeling that something had went awry there. And it was simply a calculator typo. That's also why I want you, and why you will, write this out on your paper, because I do not want you to get -5 points on your test for just a calculator typo. So most of your credit will come from showing me this, and then the last point probably will come from what you actually get out of your calculator. And I do that for your own good.